Alright, hello. So let's get started with this paper, shall we? So, first and first, we're gonna start off with our blank page. Now let's get started. Please note this is a Save My Exam paper. I would have linked it at the start of the video saying this is a Save My Exam paper. So I've also linked the paper in the description as well. So you can have a look at it. Please note this is not my paper. I did not make this. Just got it from Save My Exam. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's start off with question 1. Question 1 said they write down the value of 3 in 16.35. So it's where's 3? So 3 is over in the unit side. The case it will now be 3 over 10 because 3 over 10 is basically 0.3 and 0.3 is basically over here, so in the case it will just be 3 over 10. You can also write as 0.3 or 3/10. I'm sure that won't mind. So now it said here's a list of 6 numbers. Which number is in the list of factor of 24? Now in the case it's gonna be 9. So it said from the list of number it's not a factor. It can't go into 24. Now, for 6, can it go to 24? Yes. Can 12 go into 24? Yes. Can 3 go into 24? Yes. But 1 can go into 24. 1 can go into any number, so that's a no-brainer. 3 can go into 24, no-brainer. 6 can go into 24, no-brainer. 12 can go into 24, no-brainer. And we only got this, so it's 9. Okay, 9. Now, okay, next one. It's at 0.21 as a fraction. Easy, simple as that. So if we do 21 over 100, that equals to the answer. In the case, it's just going to be 21 over 100. Because in the case, you can also think it like this. 21 divided by 100, what is it? It's going to be 21 divided by 100. In the case, you can simplify it as a fraction. And we get 21 over 100. Second. So we've got 5f minus f, so that's our first one. 5f minus f, that's 4f. And then we've got plus 2f, that's going to be 6f. Simple like that, not too hard. Now, second one, it's going to be simplified, so 2 times m times n times n times 6. In the case, I'll do it by 2 families. So, in the case, this is first family, so 2 times m, that's going to be 2m. Second family is going to be n times 8. In the case, it's going to be 8n. And then times it together to 2m times 8n. That's going to equal 16mn. Now, simplify t squared plus t squared. Simple. You don't always multiply the powers. You only add in the powers when it does times. If it doesn't say times, you don't add the powers, you just add the bases in the case. So in the case, it will just be 2t squared. And now, second. Now, we're going to start with question 5. Shop sells pens at different prices. The cheapest pens in the shop are 27 each. Lottie buys 18 pens from the shop. He pays with a £10 note. If Lottie buys 18 of the cheapest pens, how much exchange could he get? Now, if she buys the 18 pens, the reason she's buying it cheap is because she's simply poor and she's broke, alright? She's not under trade, so start off with this first. Now, it says less change. Now, first, I will start off with 27. Because it costs cheapest pens in the shop. They cost 27 each, right? Then 27 times 18. If we use a calculator, 27 times 18, that's going to be 486. And then, that's your answer because, and then she buys with a £10 note. So 27p, right? So then to buy with a £10 note, you might have to divide it by 100. So then it will be £4.86. And now, if you do £10, so if you put less change, you might get the mark. And then if you do £10, 1.00 minus £4.86. and do that. So 10 minus £4.86. That's your answer. 5.14. That's your answer. Nothing else you need to do. Now, second one. It said instead of buying cheapest pens, Lottie buys the more expensive pen. Ooh, now fancy. She gets to buy the more expensive pen because she's being fucking congratulated by one of her friends for buying cheap pens. And a breaking like that. So keep that aside. We're gonna go on for how did this affect the amount of change she gets? Now it's simple. So if she buys more expensive pen, the amount she receives will be less change. Indicate why? Because if we have this now, indicate if this was like 50 times 18, that's going to be £900. Wait, no, 900 pence, then divided by 100, that's 9 quid. Indicate you'll get 1 quid. Indicate. So now indicate it will just be less change. I hope that's all you need to put. Nothing else. Now, second thing. Mitchell and Wayne have saved a total of £458 for their holiday. Wayne saved £72 more than Mitchell. I thought she might be Bruce Wayne today. Maybe not. So, he said a total of 458. So we're going to say that 458, and then save more £72 more than what you spent. So in this case, I would say Wayne is like X plus 72, and then we got our total saved, right? Now in this case, I would want to say X, and then expanded by X plus 72 equals 458. And if we do that together, so then it will be 2x plus 72 equals 458. And then 2x equals 386 because you're minusing 72 from both sides. So in the case we get 386, and then simplify that together we get 193, and that's your x. And then after that you can just say 193 plus 72 because you're going from this one, right? And we know that x equals 193, so then we're getting 193 plus 72, that gives us 265, and now that'll just be 265. Simple like that, not too hard, right? Now, let's go start with it. So, question 7, it said work out 70% of 90. Use your calculator. I mean, it's your screensaver. Now some people get confused by the percentage sign. Can you not put a percentage sign? Answer is yes, you can. If you put 70% and then you press shift and then you press answer. Normally have a different calculator. You might have a 990 something like that, but this is harder. So we've got 70% and we're going to times it by 90. That's going to be 63, and that's it. There's nothing much you need to do more than that. But that's your easy one mark. Now, 1 second. So here are 4 fractions. Write these fractions in order of size. Now start with the smallest fraction. First, I would start it with decimals first. I started with decimals because it's kind of actually easier than expected. But remember to convert it back into this. So in this case, we're going to start with this. That's going to be 0.5. And then we've got 17 divided 24. Got that right. Then if we press this SD button, you get that. So then in this case, it's going to be 0.7083. 3 over 4, that's 0.75. 512. It's gonna be 0.416, and then we'll start off with this. So then we've got, so what's the smallest first? So first is gonna be 5 over 12 because that's 0.416, and then second one is going to be 0.5. In this case, it's going to be a half. Second thing is going to be 17 over 24 because it's the second largest. And then 3 over 4 is the largest out of all, so then it will just be 3 over 4. And that's your answer done. There's nothing much to do, just take down your answer. And yeah, that's it. Easy marks. Good question. Good question. Now, this one said, what percentage of the shape is shaded? Now, for 12, now if we count out all the shades, we get around 12.5 squares. Or the use of 1 square equals 5%. We can say that 1 square equals 5%. And if we do that, so then if we do 12.5 and then divide it by 20, because we've got count out all this, and then times it by 100, use our calculator. We do 12 divided 20 times 100, 60, and I think, oh no, I've done it wrong. Close. Do 12.5 times 20 divided by 20 and 100, that's going to be 62.5, and that's your answer. Easy 3 marks, not too hard. Now, second thing is question 10. The manager of the shop is recording the size of each dress sold one morning. Now I've got recorded sizes. The sizes of dresses are even numbers. The main sizes of dresses are sold that evening is 15.3. The manager said the mean size of dresses is not a very useful average. Explain why the manager is right. Now, I would say the correct use of criticism. So we're going to criticize the manager because we're Karens, so we can't do anything about that. We want to sue them, so I would say that there's no dress of 15.3 even recorded in the thing whatsoever, because the mode is basically 14 and it's most useful since it does show the most popular size. So in this case, I would just say there's no dress of 15.3. Now, it said which is the more useful for the manager to know, the median or the mode. I would say the mode is the most because it shows that it's the most popular size. So the mode because it is the most popular size. Because you see this every time someone is actually picking 14 because it's very popular. So in this case you got all the marks for this. You do 2 marker, not too hard. So question 11 is that in the shop the normal price of a coat is £65. The shop has a sale and week 1 of the sale the price of the coat is reduced by 20%. In week 2 of the sale, the price of the coat is reduced by a further £10. And then it said Maria had 40 quid. And that's not a lot actually. But does Maria have enough money to buy the coat in a week 2 of the sale? You must still have to get your answer. Now, the process to do this actually is quite actually simple. So you think about it in this way. So she said that in week 1, the price is reduced by 20%, right? And we got the second week where it said the price of the coat is reduced by a further £10. It's not a question of percentages or money in this case. In this case, it's just simple math. Like you gotta know from what Maria can buy, and to calculate if she has enough money. I would say that in week 1 we start off. We can say that 20% times 65, and then if you do that with the calculator, 20% times 65, you get 13 quid. And then if you do the new price, would then be £65 minus 13, because it's reduced, so it's not increased, it's not like staying the same, it's decreased because it said reduced. So then in this case, if we do 65 minus answer, then we got 52. And then for the second week, it said a further £10 off, so you put that in there, and then minus 10, that'll be 42. Maria has 40 quids, right? We can't afford it. She's not Bruce Wayne, which I was, but don't have enough money. So she got 40. So in this case, I would say no, because she is £2 short, and that's an easy 3 marker. Nothing else you need to write. Second question. So the length of a car is 3.6 meters. The car makes the scale model of the car. So you use the scale from 1 to 30. Work out the length of the scale model of the car. What gives you answers in centimeters? Not too hard actually, so if you focus properly. So, give your answer in centimeters. We know that scale is 1 to 3. We can say that the car is 3.6 meters. So if we take that, so we say car length is, or aka chlorine, say if you're too advanced with chemistry, or you can just say 3.6 meters. And then for the convert to centimeters, what we need to do is that we need to times it by 100. And this will just be 360 centimeters, as you learned in science, if you learned, or if you pay attention. And then the scale is 1 to 30, right? In this case, I'll do 360 divide 30. That should give me 12. Once we got 12, that's your answer, because there's nothing else for you to do. That's an easy 2 marker. There's nothing much. Now 13. Here are the height in centimeters of 15 children. I'll show this answer in a stem and leaf diagram. Stem and leaf aren't very complicated if you look at it properly. So, got height in centimeters of 15 children, all of that. I would look at every one. Now, in this case, I'll go like that. Now, 2 digits in first of them. I wouldn't go first digit because all of them are the same. I will go for the second digit because some of them are different. You got 2, you got 4, you got 3, you even got, yeah, that's it really. And then in this case, it will just be 1 with 12. And now what's the next one? We've got 13. And then the next one is 14. And then we've got a 15, so yeah. In this case, the stem and leaf diagram has to be very organized. And in this case, what I would need to put it into ascending order. Now to put it into ascending order, I've got to look carefully on which one it is. You don't want to go through rough in everything because you do end up making a mistake and get it. Oh, I did miss 15, so you want to check through everything. Have you got 12? Have you got 14? Have you got that, etc. Alright? Now, in this case, I will go to ascending order. First digit is the smallest one for 12. We've got 123, 129, and we've got 125 as well. Yeah, that. And if we do 3, second digit is going to be 5. Third digit is going to be 9. And then that's it. That's your first mark. 13, if we look at first one. So first digit is that we found 130, that's 0. Then we've got second digit, which is 3. We've got another digit, which is 3. We've got another one, which is 5. Then it's going to be 7. Then it's going to be 8. And the 14, if you look at all of them, are all going to be 7. And the next one is another 7. And the next one is another 8. and the next one is another 9, simple like that. And then for 15 we found 150, was 0. We also found 151, which is right here. Look carefully, get that. That's it, full 3 marks, not enough. Not a lot to do for that one. Now, second question, 13. For one of the children, it showed at random. What is the probability of that child that has a greater than 140? Now, since we got that, I would say that would be 6 over 15. If we count up everything, so if it's over 140, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them, so it'll be 6. All of it over the total amount, which will just be 15, and that's it. 6 over 15. If you want to put out a decimal, they will still allow you for it. Just no change in marks. You should don't put a fraction over a decimal. Second step, 14. Now 14a, it said write out the coordinates of point C. How it works is our coordinates will work out the x, y. First part is x, second part is y. Now, so point C, where I can see point C here. Now we've got origin here, and if we go down a bit, so that's our y-axis. Where we're looking here at the y-axis, where we're looking across is the x-axis. Now, from here, the x-axis points at 0, so it can be 0, and then y is going down by 1, so it can be minus 1. They tried to hide it a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it said minus 1. They wouldn't go the same thing as that, or the positive on the top. But if they do that, then ensure that the bottom, anywhere that's said on the bottom, is minus 1. Okay? Now, it said ABCD is a square. B on the grid, mark with a cross to the point D, so that ABCD is a square. So, point D, that ABCD is a square. Now, I would try and draw this with a ruler. Now, I wouldn't be accurate because I haven't got a ruler in the first place. But I'll make sure to draw everything with a ruler and ensure that it does meet what it needs to do. So, now just look on here, the coordinates, see, explain this, it's gonna be marked at 3 there. If we can mark that 3 0 is mainly so it can mark it as a square. I would mark it at 3 0 because it does look like it can match a square. So we do that. If you try and draw a square, it'll look like that. And I just think that's pretty accurate to me, so definitely a square. I would say 3 there. I would definitely look carefully. If you don't have deep coordinates, like I said, draw the line here. You'll find the answer that way. Right? If you want, you can also look at the distance between them. That also might work. And then what I want to do for the same for T. For this one, it's just like 3 squared across. You do the same thing, 3 squared across up by 1. You'll find your answer that way. It's not hard. Now 15a, it said work out 4 by 5 over 2 tenths. In this case, it's just going to be 4/5 times 210. That's going to be 4 by 5 times 210. Going to be 168. That's your answer. Nothing else. Now it said work out that. In this case, just use your calculator. You got your answer. Nothing much you need to do on that one. I'll just use your answers. Bracket 6 minus 2.5 squared plus square root 9.34 minus 2.58. You get your answer. And then you got 14.85. Nothing else. Now, second one, 16a is 4c plus 11. So then, just rearrange. If you know your equation properly, which you should do 4c. And if we do minus 5 on both sides, it's going to be 6. And then divided by 4. C equals 6 by 4. And 6 by 4 is basically 1.5. If you type it into a calculator, and then be 1.5. Simple as that. Now that one is pretty easy. 2 mark as well. If we rearrange, expand it, so then it will be 5a. 5 times 7, that'll be 35 equals 20. And then we do minus 35 on both sides. The 5e. And then we do 20 minus 35. It's going to go into the minus now. So it's going to be minus 15. And then e equals minus 3. So it's going to be minus 3. Now this one. M to the power 2 cube. And then it's going to be squared, the whole thing. I wanted you to be really careful in this one. Where it doesn't say times, but it is times in the powers. Don't ask me how, but it is times in the powers. So then it would just be 3 times 2. That'll be to 6. Simple as that. It just does. I can't explain it more than enough to say why is it not. It's multiplying, right? But I would think about it this way. If the squared of it, then it's going to be m cubed, and then there's going to be another m cubed. And then what we do with squares, we also have to times it, right? So then it will just be 3 plus 3, and now it'll also be equal to m to 6. Same thing, you will get the marks either way. The next thing, so 17 is a triangle question. I love these questions actually. They make me pull my brains out. Now, the P is, we've got the triangle here. Now P is a point on AB. Q is a point on AC. AQ equals, AP equals AQ. Work out the side angle of AQP. You must give a reason for each stage of your working. Now, it's a reason geometry question, so let's build it step by step. Now, we want to find out triangle A in triangle ABC. So, to calculate, so we got that C equals 22, and angles in a triangle sums to 180. So then if we do A equals 180, and since it's a right angle, we've also got a right angle, we do minus 90 and then minus 22, and then we get 68. And we also got to say that angles in triangle sums to 180, and then we also got to consider that triangle AQP. Now we're told that AP equals QP, so triangle AQP is an isosceles. So the angle at A is the same as angle at CAB, which is basically this angle. And we used to know that angle A is the same as CAB. If it's the same as CAB, it's also going to be 68. 68 there. Therefore, an angle AQP, PAQ is 68. Because we can also say that CAB equals PAQ because AP lies on AB and AQ lies on AC. That's your another mark. So you got 2 marks for this. And then we've got to find the 2 other angles. So we know that angle AQP equal to angle APQ. In this case, we'll need to do 180 because angles in the same angle sum to 180 and a minus 68. And then we got two angles here, and because it's an isosceles as we talked from before, we're going to divide it by 2, and that should give us 56 degrees. And that's it. So nothing much. You get 1 mark for doing this, 1 mark for doing that, and that's your answer. Nothing much. Next question, question 18. A lot of people struggle in this question. If when I look in the examiner's report, a lot of people have actually struggled with trying to solve the equation. So it says, here is a list of ingredients for making 16 mince pie. Ingredients for 16 mince pie show that it is 240 grams of butter. That much of butter, you're going to die with diabetes. 350 grams of flour, 100 grams of sugar, you're going to get sugar high. You've got 280 grams of minced meat. So Elaine wants to make 72 mince pies. How much of each ingredient will Elaine need? It's a scale factor question. Now Elaine wants 72 mince pies instead of 16. We need to calculate our scale factor. I would say 72 divided 16. Use our calculator. 72 divided 16. We got 4.5. And then we have to multiply each ingredient by 4.5 because this is our scale factor, right? We want 72 mince pies. So that if we do 4.5 times it by all of them, so we do 240 and we use the calculator. So in this case, since we also got that, I would store it by A. So in order to store it, I press STO and then whatever it is, I press the button A, already stored in the calculator. Now I would say 240 times alpha A, 1080. And then we do the same for them, so we do 4.5 times 350. In this case, it's going to be A times 350. And it's going to give me 1575. Do the same for the others. So equals 450. And then 4.5 times 280 for the minced meat. Oh, we got 1260. And then there, that's your answer. Nothing much you need to do. It's pretty simple if you ask me. Loads of people have marked on these. I don't understand why. Pretty simple question. If you just read the question carefully, it's a scale factor question. So, yes, that's it. Just gotta say 1080, 1575, 450, and 1260. Not a lot. Now, Lasna worked out 2 by 5 plus by half. She wrote 2 by 5 plus a half equals 2 by 10 plus 1 by 10 equals 3 by 10. Are you seeing this right now? Is she really dumb? Look at it carefully. So the answer of 3 by 10 is what? No shit. So, we've got to use the correct evaluation by identifying the error. That she didn't multiply 1 by 5. Now if we did calculator ourselves, so 2 by 5 by 1 by 2. In this case, you need to do the smiley face. So you do cross multiply, do the smiley face like that. To multiply the denominators, you get 10. 2 times 2 is basically 4. And I've got 5 plus times 1, which is 5, divided by 10. That equals to 9 by 10. So you got to say that you didn't multiply the numerators. And that's your answer. Now Dave, Big Dave, worked out 1 into the power of 1 by 2 times 5 whole by 1 by 3. He wrote that 1 times 5 equals 5. No way. We've got 1 by 2 times 1 by 3, which equals 1 by 6. Yep. And we've got 1 whole and a half times 5 whole and 1/3 equals 5 by 1. I don't think that makes sense whatsoever in terms of fraction, but it just does work, I guess. You've got a clear correct evaluation. So, same thing as before, you're going to calculate it yourself. I would convert it into an improper fraction. That'll make it easier for you, make your life a whole lot easier. Or, you can always use a calculator, because it is a paper 2 ad. So, I would say that you do it off, not a calculator, make your job easier, plus you'll be able to identify what mistake you have made in the first place. So if we do improper fraction, then we've got 2 here, and then we've got 3, so 3 by 2, and then 5 whole, 5 times 3, plus 1, that's going to be 16, divide 3, and then if we times that together, so 16 times 3, that's going to be 48, and then divide by 6, that's going to be 48 divided by 6, going to be 8. It's simple. So what she hasn't done is she hasn't split it into a mixed number. She should convert into improper fraction first. So she hasn't. What she basically did, she basically split a mixed number. So you should say she split a mixed number. That's your answer. Right, you're done with your answer card. That make t the subject of the formula. W equals 3t plus 11. Now it's a subject of rearranging. Once again, easy t mark. We got w equals 3t plus 11. So we want to make it a t as the subject. So I'll do minus 11 on both sides. That'll be what w equals minus 11 equals 3t. And then divided by 3. We got t equals w by 11 divided by 3. Simple as that, not too hard. So then it'll just be t divided by w minus 11 divided by 3. That's your answer. Now, question 21, we're almost getting to our end. So it said 3 companies sell the same type of furniture. The price of the furniture from Pools of London is 14,480. The price of the furniture from Jordan Paris is 1980. The price of the furniture from Outrage of New York, fancy, is 2250. The exchange rates are £1 equals €1.34. Another pound for $1.52. Now we've got to convert all prices to pounds, and we've got to compare it. So now we've got the Pools of London. That's already 1,480. Now Jardins of Paris, we know that £1 equals to £1. We know that £1 equals to euros into £1.34. I would say for Paris, I would say that you need to do 1980 divide 1.34, and if we type that into our calculator, divided by 1.34, and we get our, I would say, an estimate of say 1477.61. If we want to run a pen, keep this same answer. Do not change it anywhere else. If you're gonna change it, it's gonna make your job a living hell. You're not gonna like yourself. So keep it as it is. But yeah. And then we'll calculate New York, and we know that £1 equals to £1.52. And so in the case, same as before, we're going to have to do 2250 divide 1.52. And that, if we do that again, 2250 divide 1.52, we get 1480, and then 0.26, we round to our nearest pence. Now we compare all of it. So we've got London is 1480, Paris is 147, and then New York is 1480. We know that 1480 is the biggest out of all of them in the case, therefore NYC. So therefore, it's sad to show which one showed at the lowest price. The lowest price is Jardin to Paris. Therefore, Jardin to Paris wins. And there's your answer. Next question. 22 said the time series graph gives some information about the number of pairs of shoes sold in the shoe shop in the first 6 months of 2014. So we've got this graph here. Now, it said the sales target for the first 6 months of 2014 was to sell a mean of 96 pairs of shoes per month. Did the shoes meet the sales target? You must show your answer. How you get your answer. Now we've got to say that the correct information with the graph, at least with one correct leading, when you see from 96. So you want to see where is 96 right now. Well, we've got to know that that is 90. Then we should do 92, 94, 96. Draw that line. So I'm not going to be accurate here. And then if we do that, we can estimate that it's mid like January, like, and less than February as well. So this is the shop meet its sales target. I would say that you need to do 110 plus 84 plus 78 plus 94 plus 90 plus 120. If we calculate all the points from here and then we divide all of it by 6, that should give us 96, right? Because that would also not prove that this might be the correct answer. So we've got that the mean is 96 pairs per month. The target was 96 pairs per month. So in the case, the answer is yes. The shop has met the target. There's your answer. Right, nothing bad, nothing too much. Next answer is write down the modal class interval, aka the mode, which is the most common out of all, just like your mother. We shows that go through all of them, which one is the biggest number in the frequency. That's going to be that one, so it's going to be 160 into 8 into 170, something like that. The incorrect, next one, the incorrect frequency polygon have been drawn for the information on the table. Got this polygon. Now it said write down 2 things that are wrong with the frequency polygon. I would say that the points need to be plotted mid-interval values. I get why he would done like that, go up to the actual like lowest point, but it's not right. It got to go to the mid-interval values. So I would say that got to go to the mid-interval values. Another one I would say is that the polygon should not also be clothed So I wouldn't draw this line. I would say it would just be simple. It wouldn't be too much to haggle about. Not worth it. And probably end up losing marks as well. So I would say that as well. So we'll just say points should be plotted mid-interval. And then that's one is that the polygon should not be closed. That's it, yeah. Now second one is at 9 AM Bradley began a journey on this bicycle from 9 AM to 9:36. He cycled an average speed of 15 kilometers per hour. From 9:36 to 10:45 he cycled a further 8 kilometers. Draw a triangle graph to show Bradley's journey. And we got this graph here. So I would draw it ensuring that it completely correct all the drawing. And to calculate the distance in 36, where you distance equals, or aka speed divided by equal distance divided by time. You get that in the exam. I'll put up the equation right here. So the method to find the distance in 36 meters, you need to find the correct gradient. In this case, I would say that it would be 15 times by 36 over 60, aka so divided by 60, and then so you draw for the correct graph from 9 AM to 9:36, and draw graph from 9:36 to 9 to 10:45, 9 and 8. We also got another mark for saying 18 times 0.25. Yeah, I'll draw the answer. You can follow along. Now I will plot the points. So in this case it will be 9 AM there, then 9:30 gonna be 9. So calculate, that's gonna be 6 and 7, 8, 9. And we've got 10:45 we did here, and then we've got to go 17. So that'll be 19, 18, wait no, 19, 18, 17. Mark that, and that's your answer. Now we're gonna drawing them as straight lines. And I know mine's not accurate, but try my best to do so. So how you get these is 36 minutes is basically 0.6. 15 times 6, 0.6 is 9. And I'm putting 9:36. Bradley travelled 9 kilometers. Then Bradley cycled a further 8, so it would be 9 plus 8, that equals 17. And that's for 9:45. That's it, right? Now, second thing second, from 10:45 to 11 AM, Bradley cycled an average speed of 18 kilometers per hour. Work out the distance Bradley cycled from 10:45 to 11 AM. I'd be 15 minutes, because 10:45 to 11 AM, 15 minutes in total from the two times. And then it would then be 15 divided 60 which equals to 0.25 hours if you use a calculator. And then if we do 18, because it's that distance divided by time, we've got times, and time divided by speed, that would just be 0.25, and then that would equal to 4.5, and there's your answer. In question 25, Toby invested $7,500 for 2 years in a savings account. She was paid 4% interest, compound interest. How much money did Toby have in the end of 2 years? A pretty easy question, compound interest question. You'll be getting a formula for this. I would also be using a multiplier. Now to calculate a multiplier, we also got 4% interest. So in the case, I'll say 1.04 because you're improving that increase, you're increasing it. And for 2 years, we've got to do 2. I will place the formula right here, which would be popped up. And then after that, we've got that. We've got 7 times by 7,500. We got 8112. We put that into a calculator, obviously, and that's it. Nothing much you need to do, not hard. Becky has some marbles. Chris had 2 times as many marbles as Becky. Dan has 7 more marbles than Chris. They have a total of 57 marbles. Dan said if I give the marble to Becky, each of us will have the same number of marbles. Is Dan correct? You must show how you get your answer. Pretty easy question if you ask me. It's obviously marbles. So Becky will be X today. So we call him a dialophone. Swift is 2X. So we're calling a double dialophone. We'll play this. And then for Dan, he's going to be double xylophone and add a 7. So going to be double xylophone, and then you're going to add a 7. And then if we add all of them together, so X plus 2X plus 2X plus 7, that equals 57. Rearrange it together, so we end up getting 5X plus 7 equals 57. 5X equals 50, X equals 10, and then calculate it all together. Then B equals 10, C equals 10 times 2, which is 20, D equals 10 times 2, which is 20, and then add 7, which is 27. And then George wants to check it, it will all add up to 57. There's your answer. Now 27, here's a diagram showing a rectangle ABCD and a circle. BCD is the diameter of the circle. Give the percentage of the area of the rectangle that I shaded. Give your answer to 1 decimal place. Pretty tricky question actually. Lots of people have not marked on this. It's also on the hardtail paper as well, so hardtails are somewhat easy in this, I guess, but I would say that it's not too complicated once you get the hang of it. Now, you've got to work it through step by step. I would first work out the area of the rectangle. The area of the rectangle is going to be length times width, right? So we can swing that out. We've got length times width, so now in this case, it's going to be 19 times 16, that equals 304. And then we want to find the area of the circle inside the rectangle. Now we know that the diameter is 16 because this height is also 16. They have the same height, right? So it's going to be 16. And then I would rather label it. And then radius is basically half the diameter. So then it would just be 8. Right? So then if we do pi, so we know that the equation. So you get the equation, I'll pop it right there once again. You get the equation like that. So you can do pi times r squared, which is 8 squared. And that would equal to 64 pi. And then if we use 64 pi into our answer, we can get 201.1 centimeter squared. And then we 201.1 divided 2 that equals 200. You get 30 pi, then that will be 100.530949, and then I would do 304 minus the answer there. That would give us 203.5. And set the calculator to one decimal place. So then we also got to find the rectangle of the shaded. So then, since we've already got the rectangle right here, I would say 203.5 divide 304, then times about 100. Then we could say that's roughly like 66.95. I would say 67, 67, so we've got 67%. Yeah, simple answer. Not too hard, by the way. So if you want to get the hang of it with circles, area of circles and area of rectangle, I'm sure it won't be pretty hard. So next question. It's one of the last questions actually. ABCD is trapezium. The square had a perimeter as the trapezium. Work out the area of the square. You must give your answers to 3 significant figures. It's pretty not hard actually. If we work through step by step, we use the formula once again. So we've got to find CD. And we also know that this is a perimeter question because it had the same perimeter. Yeah, we want to find the area of the square. Now we want to find CD. We don't know what CD is. So we know that different in parallel sides is 9, 7. If we do 9 minus 7, that equals 2. And then CD forms a right angle triangle with the height being 5 centimeters and the base being 2 centimeters. So we do that. So now we know that 2 centimeters. We've got the height, which is 5. And then using Pythagoras, we can say that a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Yep. We've got Pythagoras here. I would say that the height would be 5. So say this would be C, this would be A, this would be B. This will be 5 squared plus 2 squared equals c squared. So then if we do 25 plus 4, that's going to be 29 equals c squared. And then square root it. Is then be c equivalent to 5.385 centimeters. And then we got that for CD. So now that's CD. Then we got perimeter of the trapezium. To calculate the perimeter of the trapezium, we need to do AB plus BC plus CD plus AD. In this case, we've got C here. We've got to do 5 plus 7. We've got 5 and 7. And then plus this. So we're going to say, put that here. Can't be asked. Plus 9. That's going to equal to 26.385. And there's your answer. And then find the side length of the square, because we know that the square had the perimeter as the side length. So then we just got to do 26.385 divide 4. That's going to equal to 6.596. And then calculate the area of the square. So then we got to do 6.596 squared. That's going to equal to 43.511. Then if we round it up, it's going to be 43.53 centimeters squared. And there's your answer. That's it, guys. There's nothing much to do with that today. But hopefully you all get grade 5 in this. I've done this without the mark scheme, so correct me if I did anything wrong. Pretty confident I probably got like 100% of this, but yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this. See you in the next one. Yeah, see ya.